Good afternoon, Camp Davy Crockett. I'm Hayden.
And I'm Zeph.
I'm Doan. I'm from Frontier Camp.
Whoa.
We've already had a great conversation.
We have.
But you'll never hear it. That you'll never hear it. Yeah.
And a very happy Christmas to everybody out there at home.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we actually got it this time instead of waiting to our Thanksgiving episode. We forgot about it until like the last 5 minutes. So,
but it is Christmas time. I'm wearing my Christmas sweater.
Me too.
Yeah. It's Christmas and he's wearing a sweater.
Yeah.
So. And what are you wearing, David?
My Frontier clothes, my mountain or hunting clothes that I normally wear as an old mountain man.
I thought that he this is the only thing he ever wore for the longest time.
Yeah.
Until one day I saw him in like a regular old modern button up, and I was like, "Who's that?"
Well, I get that from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, who are you?
Yeah.
Well, he looks the part so much, Can you? All right, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are. I think that'd be a good way to introduce the episode. So.
All right. I am, as I've already said, Frontier Camp Director at Camp Davy Crockett. And I do a lot with Frontier Camp type activities, colonial time period, Revolutionary War, and the Frontier Camp fell into that part. Matter of fact, the one that started me into this at camp, Colonel Bob McCroskey, that was the title we give him because he's the colonel of our militia. And he got me started working with Frontier Camp and teaching colonial skills. But I had already met him several years before through 4-H and also through the Washington County militia that we belong to as Revolutionary War reenactors. And that's kind of how I got into some of this. There's a lot of other things I could tell you, but that's probably just a good starting point.
So how long have you done Frontier Camp?
I went up there in 2011, just in and out to kind of see what things was like. And then the next year, I was there full time, been there ever since.
Because I know that you, in the past, have told me how Frontier Camp kind of got its start, and that was always a cool story of like just what was going on and what was happening.
Well, the way Bob told me the story was Ronald Cameron, who's the council office, come to him one day and says, "Bob," or they call him Big Bob, or Big Mac, Big Mac, and he said, "What do you reckon it costs to set up a Frontier Camp thing?" He says, "A whole lot of money, but I'll put a plan together for you." And so he did. He took it back, and Ronald said, "Let's do it." We sometimes kid Ronald when we try to get him to help us a little bit, that he's the one who started it. It wasn't Big Mac or Bob, but Bob is actually, he preferred Bobby, but he would, he's the one who put it together. I think he went out and talked to a lot of different groups and got support for it and got money donated to help buy a lot of the stuff because it was expensive. Buy all the tents that you had to have when we do the setup there at camp to get the lay of the land where you could actually set up tents and so forth and bring everything together. And we're not real sure what year we're thinking. We're sometime around 2008, possibly 2009 when Frontier Camp started.
So interesting. I know we were talking a while back. I guess it was a couple years ago. I guess it was last year. Never mind. Not a couple years ago. I have seen the start, and I'm scared of modernization because, and this is how the world happened too.
Oh, yeah.
So they get a tent here and a tent there, right? And so that's pretty good. Well, now they've got an entire pavilion that's like really nice that they build up there. And
is there there's concrete on it, isn't there? Is there concrete?
No, there's not concrete up there.
No.
Okay, no concrete.
No concrete.
So
it's all wood.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Well,
Well, that's what I said.
Maybe I should say that I think there is some concrete in the post in the ground.
Okay.
But
Okay.
no.
Not a concrete
No.
floor like that. Okay.
Metal roofing, no.
Metal roofing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. Here in a couple of years, we're gonna have a skyscraper up there.
Yeah. They got a refrigerator too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had those in the 1700s.
Well, that's over in the non-frontier camp section.
Okay.
That's so that we don't have to worry about the health department coming up and getting on to us.
Okay. I guess that's fair.
That's the spring house we would have, or the well house we would have had water to keep things cool.
Mm.
Yeah, but the frontier camp is always a cool experience. We get to go up every Tuesday to come up and help y'all, and it's always fascinating to get to see all the young scouts running around and getting to see like blacksmithing and all that, because it's something that they normally in their normal life wouldn't get to see, and it's always great.
Yeah, that night is always a fun night where we do get to see a lot of folks and talk to them about a variety of things. And very enjoyable. We look forward to it every week at camp.
Yeah. Then we average 50 shots of musket.
I don't know if you average that many. That's probably the minimum.
Yeah, that's true. Some weeks we've got 200-300.
It seems like it when you get done.
The musket shooting, they got tomahawks and blacksmithing school, and then they even the people that go up and stay the week there like dye their own clothes and
They dye.
And no, they don't.
They dye their own clothes.
They do dye
They put color in their shirt.
Yeah. They dye their own clothes, and sometimes they like make rope or make a stool or something cool like that.
Usually we try to make rope every week, and there's some leather working too, make a pouch.
Yeah, pouch.
And various other things too.
Yeah.
And they even have a trading post that you can shop at on
Yeah.
Tuesday, and there's a specific shirt that you can't get anywhere else on camp unless you go to the trading post up there.
I didn't know
And
that.
so if you want a super rare frontier camp shirt, you got to go.
Yeah, it's exclusive.
Yeah.
All right.
You gotta have a few things that's different from the rest of the camp.
Exactly.
True.
Actually, I think everything that's in that trading post is exclusive to, other than the drinks.
Well, drinks and I guess actually the candy and stuff.
Yeah.
It was more period correct. It's not in the trading post, yes.
So yeah, if you want anything that's that you can't get,
Is there like the predecessor to Hershey or something that had like
We had trading posts back in colonial time period, so
what kind of candies did they have?
usually hard candy,
Okay.
and rock candy and horehound candy, and you ought to try some of that once.
Did they do like caramel apples and stuff like that?
No.
Oh, okay. Like this, I don't know. Anyway, frontier camp. It's a wild time. The wild frontier, as they say.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, Davy Crockett was the king of it. Did you know Davy Crockett?
Well, I had heard of him. His daddy went to Kings Mountain when we went to Kings Mountain, fought against Ferguson. And his daddy went with us.
Cool.
So we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but what is your scouting / camp background? Like, what is the background?
Well, I started out, I went to church one Sunday, and one evening during the week, and they said, we got this program called Cub Scouts. Would you like to join? Well, yeah. But things didn't quite work, so I didn't get in until I was a Boy Scout. So I joined the troop there, not at my church, but the church next door, and got into scouting, went all the way up to Eagle, and I'd gone through the board review and sent it to council office, and it got rejected because I didn't have the right conservation merit badge. A change had been made. So much to my regret, and while I have this opportunity, please don't do what I did. Get the badge or whatever it is. You'll regret it the rest of your life if you don't. But I had a great frontier experience. Great scouting experience over the years. I know when I started out as a leader, and I don't recall right now, it was before 2011, but one of the leaders that I was talking to when I started, he said, "What do you remember about your scouting?" I said, well, I don't know what do you mean. What do you remember? I said, being outdoors. That's exactly what I wanted you to hear, because I want you to remember always, take them to the outdoors. Take them to the outdoors. And that's something that I've always tried to do. And of course, Frontier Camp is an excellent way to do it. And
So what's one of your favorite activities you did through scouting, like outside of camp?
Outside of camp?
Yeah. Like a camping trip or an activity or like hike, or I guess that's an activity for some people.
I probably don't do as much as I like to in it, but one of the things I've gotten involved over the years was with the Leave No Trace program. Now I'm also involved with the Tread Lightly. And BSA now calls those two programs, they pulled them together in what is called outdoor ethics. And I enjoy teaching classes and talking about outdoor ethics and how to take care of the outdoors and how to be the proper steward that you need to be out on the trail, regardless of what you're doing, hiking, bicycle riding, horses, ATVs, or whatever.
Yeah, I took your Leave No Trace course and I had a lot of fun. There was stuff that, because it's something that it seems like, oh, I know that. But until you take it, then you're like, right. Well, okay.
Well, it makes you think about safety, which is what the course is all about there on that, is safety. And we got to get you in there sometime too.
Yeah. I guess it sounds like
ride the Viking.
Ride the Viking. Oh man! All right, I'm taking this class. Man, speaking of the Viking, not really, I guess. What is your favorite spot on camp? Like your favorite shelter, your favorite campsite, and your favorite vehicle to drive around?
Well, you're really mixing it up now. I mean, you asked what's favorite spot. I mean, that's obvious. Frontier Camp.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. And I do enjoy driving the Viking around, too. So, as Hayden well knows.
I can always look around and see where they're at. I just got, it's like a wild call.
Actually, just listen here, can't you?
Yeah.
People like to kid us about the Vikings. They have something like that? I said, no, that's our covered wagon. It's a multi-horse pulled covered wagon.
The horses are invisible, right?
Yeah, I just don't know how many horses it is. Bunch of them.
So what would you say your favorite shelter is, or your favorite spot other than Frontier Camp?
Other than Frontier Camp? Well, considering I like muzzleloading and shooting, I would say Cowboy Action Range. Cowboy Action Range.
It's a good one.
Liked it so well that I went back and got all the certifications so I could slip down and aggravate Hayden down there.
It's very helpful. There's been a couple times where you've bailed me out that deep down.
Glad to do it. Just let me know.
Oh gosh, I can't read. What cheers you up? What cheers you up on a bad day? Is it cheese?
Well, it kind of depends on where I'm at. If you're at camp or something, you look around and see all the youth that's there, and you think about opportunities that I have as a teacher, an example, and teach them skills that don't have to be Frontier Camp skills. It's just the skills of life that they can learn and take out into life. Other places, it kind of depends on where I'm at. Of course, at church, that's pretty obvious. You just think about God at that. But other places, it still comes back to there's people. How can I help them?
Yeah, that's a good thing that makes you happy. Is when you're in your lowest, you feel compelled to help other people. Not a lot of people do that.
No,
it's true. It's a sign of good scout values in somebody. Yeah. So maybe a more kind of fun, silly question, perhaps. Who knows? Maybe you'll pull a serious answer out of this one too. We'll see. If you could be any kind of animal for 24 hours, what would you want to be?
Any kind of animal for 24 hours.
Would it be a T-Rex with a sweater on?
That's what I would want to be.
Well, I know I wouldn't want to be a donkey or a mule because you have to work too hard for that. I don't know. I enjoy dogs. I probably wouldn't mind being a dog.
That'd be kind of. The other day I was at the house and we have 2 dogs. I just don't know their purpose, and like I understand like dogs that like herd animals or like dogs that are like useful, but our dogs are just lazy. And I was like, I don't know. They just sit there and they eat. They have a good life. They just sit there not worried about anything. They're just eating food. The only thing that I thought that was bad about their lives is they eat the same food all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We have a pretty good life.
My dogs are cattle dogs.
Yeah,
and
useful.
but we don't use them much anymore. They're blue heelers and they're a little rough on sheep, so work good with cattle, and they really aggravate horses when they get around them.
Yeah, I wouldn't get rid of our dogs, but it's a weird ecosystem at the house. Well, so we're gonna take a break from this for a second and ask some Christmas related questions.
Oh.
And so we'll start with a really broad one here. What is your favorite like Christmas or holiday tradition?
I enjoy talking about the 12 Days of Christmas. It's kind of gotten lost in history, but I think it's very important to learn about the 12 days of history, Christmas, and especially now especially this year. I mean, Christmas all set up 1st of November pretty much, and definitely it should be after Thanksgiving. But Christmas back in the colonial time period and earlier traditions happened on Christmas Day, sometimes the night before, depending on that tradition in your culture. But it'll run for 12 days. And there's all sorts of different things that went on there in those 12 days relating to Christmas. And so it's, to me, a very important part of history. And I enjoy that.
So you're telling me that they didn't run strands of candles across their rooftops?
No, but they strung a lot of popcorn across the mantle in the fireplace.
They did decorate with some candles, though, right?
Yes,
there's not strings of them.
They had Yule logs, different traditions. I think, if I remember correctly right now, Yule log is a German thing. And, of course, I do some work with Rocky Mountain and State Historic Site. And we talk about Christmas, the Christmas traditions, and that's since 1791 that we represent. And the Cobbs have a German friend, a German neighbor, who has put up a Christmas tree in their house, a live tree in their house, and decorated it with lit candles.
Oh, gosh.
And the Cobbs tore all to pieces. Burned the house down.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh. They didn't, though, right?
No.
Okay, good.
Well, the Cobbs said, we're not having it.
Yeah. They went and blew out all the candles.
Well, I just imagined, you know how like people hang Christmas lights along the like gutters and stuff? Yeah. Well, I just imagine that, but with candles all the way around.
Can you imagine getting that bird lighting them every
day?
Of course, those candles at that time period didn't last a long time, so you'd have to get up and replace them about midnight.
I've really enjoyed learning more about the 12 Days of Christmas over the last few years, because back when I was a kid and I heard the song and everything, I assumed it was like the countdown to Christmas, 12 days. I didn't realize it actually started on Christmas and ends in January.
I don't remember when the song was written. Someone was talking about it a few days ago when it was written, but each part of the days have a specific meaning, and I don't know what it is about reading it, but each of those days have a specific meaning as to why they used what they did.
Yeah, I have always wondered. I never really looked into that, like the meaning behind the song, because I've always wondered why this person is giving you like 100 birds. You know?
It's like, I don't need those.
Give me some candy or something. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. But if you had an unlimited budget, what would be like the best Christmas gift? No money to think about. Best Christmas gift you could ever get.
Brand new 450 Ford diesel dually.
I like it.
Yep. I've had a Chevrolet dually since 74. Then I have the next one I got was a 1995 7.3 diesel Ford Dually. This one, I want to make sure this has got crew cab forward overs where you can get in and out of the back seat easier than you can out in the 95 one.
Yeah.
4-wheel drive, of course. It's got to be that anymore.
Would a dually? Hold
It'll
on.
get up front there, can't, no problem.
Well, but would a dually be 6-wheel drive? Because it would, or would it always be 4-wheel drive? Because
Well,
4 wheels in the back.
it is.
I don't know.
That is a debatable question. Actually, I think what they actually, if you get down to the true definition, it's a 4x6.
Yeah. That makes
Instead of
sense.
4x4, it's
Right,
4x6. So you can interpret that however you want to. Anyway, there's 6 tires trying to pull at the same time.
What is your favorite like Christmas dinner? What do you eat on Christmas? What's your favorite thing to eat on Christmas?
Well, I do like ham, but I'm always enjoyed beef, and I still like roast beef or something like that, even on Christmas. Yes.
Sounds good. Well, excuse me. Do we have a joke of the day for our wonderful listeners to enjoy and laugh heartily at?
I was talking about this with my granddaughter this morning, and she says, "Well, Granddaddy, let me ask you a question." I said, "Yes, ma'am. What's that?" She says, "Why did the cookie go to see the doctor?" I said, "I don't know. He was feeling crummy."
Oh.
I was trying to figure out something where it was like crumbling. I didn't get that one.
You're closer on track than I was. I had no idea. Should have known it.
Yeah. You can always count on the granddaughters jokes. Not that I have any.
Especially that one.
Oh, man. Well, word of the day. So, I have a word of the day for us today, which it's a double. I have a double special just for Christmas. Okay? So these are some Christmas related words that you might hear in old Christmas songs or in like the Christmas story. There's lo and hark. And you hear hark the herald angels sing.
Right.
And you see like lo, an angel of the Lord shown the glory shown around them. That's just like old fashioned ways to say, look at that and listen. And it's way cooler if you say lo, which just means look at that, behold. Or if you say hark, that means listen up. And if you say lo and hark, then it's way cooler.
Yeah,
right. So you should implement that in your everyday language, and people will be like, wow, that person he talks like a Christmas song. That makes him cool.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been as fun if it would have been like, look at that. It's just
see if it was like, listen up, the herald angels. So there you go.
Yeah, cool. So let's see, where were we at? This one's gonna be fun. Your favorite candy / trading post snack from either trading post.
Oh,
my favorite candy. Chocolate, of course.
That's everybody's favorite.
Absolutely.
Chocolate. I don't want anything else much in it. I want chocolate. The darker, the better, too.
Ooh.
See, I don't like
I've had some that's pretty dark.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had some that I had to eat several, and it was shredded. I had to eat a fair amount of it before I could be okay with it, get adjusted to it. That's how bitter it was, but it was still good.
Oh, man. See, I don't think
we had, back Columbus time period, we had bars of chocolate. You just take your knife and scrape off what you want.
Wow. So I guess like really, really dark chocolate like that doesn't even count as junk food, really. That's good for you.
No, it don't. It's good for you.
Yeah.
The darker, the better.
Now, so related on that point, since you said something that's not really junk food, a question from the previous guest, John Ford, was what is your favorite junk food? So if you had to eat something that's not healthy.
I guess that would have to be the milk chocolate with a lot of milk.
Okay, there we go. Get both ends of the spectrum in there.
That's right. Get into there.
So you like dark chocolate, but any chocolate will do.
That is correct.
Okay.
Chocolate. Don't throw all that other. Well, there's a few little things you can put in, but that is pure chocolate's fine. Just sit there. eat chocolate.
I was gonna say, if you had to have something in it, like caramel or cookie crumbs or something like that.
Cookie crumbs, especially Oreo cookies.
Mm.
Cookies and cream, that's
Okay.
pretty good too. White chocolate's pretty good also. I like it too. I don't know how healthy it is. So I don't know where the white comes from. A lot of milk.
Yeah.
See, then Hayden would like it.
Yeah, I don't like white chocolate. The only way I like white chocolate is if we have peppermint bark. And
Ooh,
that's good.
love
And
peppermint bark.
peppermint's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Mm.
I go to a different anything other than chocolate. Probably peppermint would be the next one, especially the ones that are the little balls that kind of melt in your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you like the peppermint milkshake from Chick-fil-A?
No,
Oh,
Fair.
that thing is disgusting.
man.
I get a small one, and that's fine. If I had one bigger, I probably wouldn't finish it. But
Well, that's why we only have one size.
The problem with it is that it's too chunky. Like I don't want to have to eat the peppermint.
Ask
Like,
for
I
it
wish-
without.
What? That's just a vanilla milkshake.
No, without the chips in it. It
Oh.
still has the peppermint flavor.
What?
still in it.
You can do that?
yeah.
Well, you just blew my mind.
There you go. You gotta try it now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now going back to that one right there, where it had chips in it, you remind me of one milkshake you could get from a restaurant. It's a peach milkshake,
Mm.
and buddy,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to turn the last bit of that shake up because there's some of those peaches in there about that big.
Oh,
It actually has the peaches in it.
Yeah, I don't know. My favorite holiday drink is the eggnog shake from Cookout.
Ooh.
That's good.
Yeah.
I love eggnog.
Cookout's the one that's got the peach.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have some big chunks in some of their
Now,
shakes.
I prefer custard over eggnog.
Mm.
It's not as spicy, but
Yeah.
I go for either one. I love me good eggnog for sure. Well, Mr. Doan,
yes, sir.
do you have any camp stories to regale us
Camp
with?
stories. Well, Frontier Camp is always full of stories. The one I probably tell the most, I enjoyed telling. A real good friend of mine that was one of the instructors at Frontier Camp. Matter of fact, he was our blacksmith, and he also taught other colonial skills. And some of them he kind of helped me with. Some of them I already knew, and we helped each other learn different things from it. But I think it was the first summer he was at Frontier Camp, which is the summer before I went up. And we had a great big old anvil. Now, at that time, we had to take all of our stuff and store it somewhere on camp. We had 3 or 4 places we had to go gather it all up, take it back up. So they had this big anvil. Ronnie was a big man. And he picked it up, set it on the block, and was trying to move it around, get it positioned where it was flat and level and didn't shake back and forth when you beat on it. And it rolled off the block. So Ronnie kind of bent over to try to pick it up. And he said, I better not do this. And so he looked over to a young man we had up there who had been blacksmith in the past. And he said, will you come here and help me pick that up? Yeah, I'll come over there. And he said, Ronnie said, I turned to get something. And I turned around and looked back, and this boy has bent over, put his arms up under the ends of the anvil, stands straight up, sits on the block. And Ronnie said, just stood there and looked at him. He said, I couldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Ronnie was strong enough. I would have figured he could. He said, boy, and he was not a big boy. He was tall.
Mm.
But,
I took every ounce of muscle and fiber he had in his body, probably.
Yeah, in his mind, he was like, man, that looked cool.
but the boy also had been doing blacksmithing.
Mm.
So he knew.
You build up some odd muscles that you would never use blacksmith. Yeah, like, it's weird. I fake blacksmithed for a little while. One week when you guys didn't have a blacksmith, and I tell you, I was like, the back of your arms right here are just, it's weird.
That's what I would imagine.
We got to get you up. We got to get you up there, do some more muzzleloader shooting, and also get you in the forge if you want.
Yeah, get you trained on blacksmith.
Yeah.
Then you'll have really, really buff, like, back of the arm, and just nothing on the
Just
front.
flat,
It's just,
yeah.
And now you you're up in a position you can delegate, you can come up there too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then you could have really strong back arms.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, I made really good snakes, like flat snakes.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was calling them.
Sometimes we make little projects there to go into the trading post too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, none of mine made it.
Wow. Shane, I would have wanted to buy one of Hayden's snakes.
Which is probably one of the more popular items. Anything we can make there on the forge, they like to purchase that.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of stuff do they make that they sell?
Well, the easiest thing we found is quickest is, if I remember correctly, well, you can use different types of metal, but the easiest thing was like a horseshoe nail and beat it into a leaf.
Ooh.
And make it look like a leaf. And you can make a pen out of it or whatever you want to. And they're very strong sellers. And when we made some flint strikers, they're very popular.
Yeah, everybody loves those flint strikers. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's what I was trying to make was a leaf. It never turned out.
And it turned into a snake?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, it depends on who's guiding you. Now, Ronnie wants you to make it into a snake.
Yeah, well, I was guiding myself because it was that week that nobody was up there. And so it was just me up there, and I just had a piece of metal and a hammer. And, and heat. Yeah. So it looked really cool, but I didn't know what I did. But, yeah, okay. We talked about that. What is your memory from the first time that you ever visited Camp Davy Crockett?
First time I visited Camp Davy Crockett, I guess, is when my son was in Cub Scouts, and getting there was my problem. I mentioned something about a dually truck, and my first one was a 74 Chevrolet, and we took off to go to Father and Son weekend, Camp Davy Crockett. Where's this place at? So we cruising down the road, and we get down to Rogersville and just past the car dealership there on the left, and my truck quit running for some reason.
Oh.
Well, that was before cell phones, more or less. So I didn't know what to do. So anyway, I finally got a hold of the phone. I called camp because my neighbor was down there, and they chased him down. And he wasn't able to come, but his father-in-law was there. He said, "I'll get him, come up there and get you." So he come picked us up, took us down to Crockett, and we spent the weekend there. And then he takes me home. We get his trailer. We go get my dually.
I was going to say, did you just leave your truck on the side of the road? Or
Yeah, it stayed on the side of the road until we went back on Sunday and got it, because that was Saturday morning for me. But not realizing not very far away, I had a friend who had a farm right close by.
No, really?
Yeah, he could come and help me out on that part of it. Then the fun part started, trying to get the dually on that trailer.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have a winch.
All right.
We had a come along. 4 days later, it seemed like. We winched it up there.
Yeah, I can imagine that'd be fun to do that.
I have a winch now.
Yeah.
That's good.
Just a few minutes, it's on there.
When you said that, like, getting there was the hard part, I was thinking just like
But once I
finding the
got
place because it's kind of, it's back off so many back roads and everything, and there's the signs that help you get there.
It's a unique experience to get there.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. Whether you break down or not.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But it's fun experience, and it's something that you
is.
normally don't forget.
No, I remember the first few times that I went down there with my dad. It was like basically we made a game out of looking for the signs, because we missed a couple in the first time.
If you come in from the interstate, you can still do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even knowing the trail. Hey, where's the next sign? Hey, that sign's missing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I still look for the signs and then realize, like, what we definitely had a sign there.
Sometimes look on the ground and see if it's left.
Extra sharp eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's that one place in that corner there, if you're coming off the interstate, that we've put a sign there like 10 times. And it just
It's an easy corner to describe.
Mm-hmm.
but tell them where to start looking for it until you drive by.
Yeah.
Oh, back there it was.
Oh man. Okay.
Well, do you have a question for us to ask our next guest, whoever that may be?
Well, it's the same question I ask everybody that says something about Frontier Camp. When you gonna come spend a week in Frontier Camp?
Man, I guess we'll have to ask someone.
Yeah. You know, I've never spent a week. Did you never spend a week up there? Man, we were missing out.
No, not one day right after the other.
No.
Well,
You probably spent that many days there each summer, but
Yeah. Maybe one week this summer I'll come live up there with y'all.
maybe we just do a special staff camp,
No,
Frontier Camp week.
that could be cool. I feel like they would get more use out of that than staff would. But yeah.
Well, I'll be glad for you to come up. We got work to do during that week.
or wait a
You
minute.
do anyway, I
Yeah.
know.
We just stay up in Frontier Camp during staff week, so that way
They learn.
it forces them to set up Frontier Camp for y'all
Mhm.
because
That's
that's
right.
always something we run into that we have to do. And then also that way, then when we get to go down to staff camp with electricity and air conditioning, then they're grateful and they don't mess anything up.
Yeah.
Not bad
I
idea.
don't know. See, I'm worried Dale's going to listen to this and then he's going to
He's
make us
gonna be like,
actually
"That's a good
do this.
Well, they do have these little things called fans you can stick in the tent.
See, there you go. You'll be fine. It'll be just like air conditioning.
Yeah. Not close.
Only if you put ice in front of it.
Ooh. See,
I wouldn't know where you get ice.
It's innovative.
Well, I've been told that you've stolen my job and have a thought of the day, and so I'm sad. But that's all right.
It's all of the day.
The thought of the day.
Well, what was your thought?
I didn't have one.
So you was glad I got
Yeah.
it.
Well, you weren't supposed to ask me.
Well, you said a word of the day, and I couldn't figure out a good word of the day. And first, idiot. So I just thought of a thought of the day, which I think is very, very important for everybody. I think it follows the scouting principles as well. But the thought of the day is be the best you can, be the best example you can, so people have a good role model to follow and do the things that they need to do that's correct and good for everyone.
That was way better than anything I could come up
That's
with.
very good.
But I use it fairly often. Well, at least I think about it anyway.
Well, good. Well, my next question was going to be if you had anything inspirational, but that was pretty inspirational. So,
You double up?
no. So,
Well, this is the third year running that we've tried to get Santa Claus on here, and I think we've gotten fairly close. We got Dale, and now we got David. Both have the white facial hair going, so yeah.
will you do your best Santa Claus impression and say Merry Christmas?
Well, during the colonial time period, it was Happy Christmas.
Ah, see, hey, that's
I
what I
like
said
it.
at the start. I just knew.
Now, as far as Santa Claus, now, if I'd known you wanted Santa Claus, and if you still want Santa Claus, I can get you Santa. Father Christmas
Ah,
to
Father
come and
Christmas.
talk to you.
Maybe.
Maybe next year.
Father Christmas.
Good old
You really,
Saint
you-
Nick.
he's all set up in the proper attire for Father Christmas, which was before Merry Christmas or Santa Claus. And according to him, Santa Claus, the true Santa Claus, jolly fella, didn't come about until Coca-Cola did it in 1900. I think Santa Claus term had been used, but the jolly fella we think of.
Interesting. Well, Happy
Well,
Christmas.
Happy Christmas. And it's a great day to be a scout and at Christmas. It's a great Christmas to be a scout at Camp Davy Crockett or wherever you may be for the holidays.
And,
Bye.
and happy Christmas.
Camp Davy Chronicles. It's a podcast about Camp Davy Crockett.